Good morning, good evening, whatever it is.
Hi.
Hello.
Hiya.
Hiya. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. Okay, cool. So, considering the conversation that we had last week, where's your head at? What have you been thinking about?
Yeah, good. So we been more intentional with like how we like. Oh, sorry, I say us because obviously Alex has been doing it as well. But been more intentional of how I've been with the kids and yeah, just like reframing from like just being aggressive basically. But yeah, it's going well. Been a good week.
Okay. What
Yeah.
stood out in your mind as like, oh, this feels different, or this is interesting, or I hadn't really thought about it like this before?
I'm just trying to think back. What did you tell me to do again? Because I have been doing it. I just can't think of what you asked me to do. You asked me to reframe.
There you go.
You asked me to reframe situations with the kids.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of an example. Oh yeah, I definitely haven't been like. I've not needed to take like time out for myself either, which has been nice.
What do you mean by that?
Definitely felt calmer because you know when we said last session to, you know, like if you want to sit in emotions, like take your 7 minutes. But I've not found that I've had to do that at all, which was nice. Yeah, just reframing situations with the kids. Really, I can't really think of one right now off my head, but.
Okay, but
it was hard. The first couple of days were hard because obviously I relayed it to Alex, and he was like, "Reframe," and I'm like, "Trying, I'm trying to reframe."
Okay, so trying is an interesting word. The reason I say that is because the word trying, and this is I do this a lot with clients, right? So it's what I call a lexical analysis. I look at the words you use in the context that you use them, the meaning of those words, and like what those words actually mean to you.
Yeah.
Trying is an interesting one because it presupposes that the thing is hard. Otherwise, you just do it. You wouldn't try to do it. You just do it. You don't try and brush your teeth in the morning, do you? You just do it, right?
Yeah.
Right. Well, secondly, it says that effort alone is sufficient. And then that failure is kind of expected, right? What happens when one of the kids does something and it doesn't go well? What do you say? Well, oh, don't worry. It's okay. You tried.
No. Well, what I did was I was like, I can't remember the situation. Something happened, and then I was like, I think I just like took a breath. No, I didn't have to do anything. I just took a deep breath, like, and then Alex like, reframe, don't. So I hadn't even said anything. I said, I haven't even said anything yet. He's like, you just took a massive sigh. I was like, I'm trying. I'm thinking about it.
Yeah. One of the things that I want to do with you today is like we talked about last week, where you almost create the reality that you live in, right?
Yeah.
Well, this week I want to look at how you do that, right? And one of the big questions that I've found to be most, I guess, illuminating for a lot of people is, do your words create your reality?
What question did you have last week? What did my emotions?
Last week,
the words.
Last week was, do you control your feelings or do your feelings control you?
Yeah,
and
that's right.
And do you create your reality or are you beholden to one that already exists?
That's right. This week is my words. Do I control? Yeah, I control my words, I think.
Okay. Do your words create your reality?
Probably, yeah.
Probably. Okay. What do you mean by probably?
Yeah, I don't really know. That's why I said probably. Yeah.
That's okay. Like, I don't know is an acceptable answer.
Yeah,
Probably is not an
Oh
acceptable
yeah,
answer.
yeah. Probably it's just like I don't know. Yeah. I don't know.
Probably is a lazy answer.
Probably. Do I? I don't know. I don't know. I know.
Okay, I don't know is an acceptable answer. Okay, well then let me ask you this. If you how often does it rain in New Zealand?
It's raining today, so
Okay.
in winter, yeah, like a bit like England.
Yeah. Okay. So when it rains, what's the first thing that pops into your head?
Oh, what a miserable day.
What a miserable day, right?
Yeah.
When you
I think that's exactly what I said today. Oh, what a miserable day.
Okay. So when you think about the word miserable, what does the word miserable mean?
Yeah. Like meh. Like just not unhappy, but just like I love the sun. So like when the sun comes out, even if it's just like a cold day but sunny, it's like, this is a nice day.
Yep.
You just automatically just feel like uplifted in your day. But like when it's raining, it's grim and it's dark and it's just it's like this is miserable.
What is the dictionary definition of miserable, if you had to take a guess?
Miserable, like depressing.
Almost, yeah. So of a person wretchedly unhappy or uncomfortable. So like really unhappy. Like not even just sad, but like wretchedly unhappy.
Really happy.
Right.
Yeah.
You say the word miserable to refer to the weather.
Yeah.
But then when you say that and you use that word in that context to look at the weather outside and go, oh, it's bloody miserable outside. How do you feel?
Yeah. Like meh. Like ugh.
Ugh, right? Yuck.
Yeah.
Hate
Yuck.
it.
Yeah.
How much does the weather affect your mood?
Oh, probably 100%.
Yeah. It does that with everyone, right? I know when it's sunny outside and I'm like, oh, buzzing.
I'm
what a
like
great
buzzing.
day.
Yeah.
You're so much happier. I completely get it.
100%. Yeah. Or even if it's just like cold but sunny, happy with that.
Right. So what is it that makes us codify rain as bad? And then why are we letting our emotions be amended by the fact that it's raining?
Weather.
Right? It's because of the words that we use to describe it.
Describe it, yeah.
The words that we use create the emotions in our minds because they enable us to describe things in a way that our brains understand better. But our brains don't really codify the words that we think we mean. They codify the words that they hear. So when you look at the weather outside and you say, oh, it's miserable outside, your brain has no choice but to accept the version of the word miserable that it knows to be true, not what you quote unquote actually mean in that moment. Because you're not miserable that it's raining outside. You're just a bit annoyed.
No, I'm not.
Funny, right?
I'm just like, oh yes, yeah, a bit grim, yeah.
Right. But your brain has no choice but to accept the definitions of the words that it understands to be true.
Mm-hmm.
So now, for example, when you let's say that objectively Alex is being annoying in the moment, right? He's doing something and it's winding you up.
Yeah.
And you say, oh, you're always so annoying in that moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is he always annoying? No, he's not. Like everyone, he has moments of being annoying because that's the person.
Yeah.
When you say out loud, you're always so annoying, what is your brain more likely to think?
It's always annoying.
And then considering what we heard last week, where your brain will look for the information that proves its own beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that you're now going to see him to be more annoying more often?
No.
How come?
Sorry, yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, yes.
Right. So the words that we use will create the reality that we see because you're conditioning your brain.
Correct.
So, for example, if the kids, remember last week we talked about loud kids, like kids being loud. Right?
Mm-hmm.
When you say to the kids, "Oh, would you just shut up? You're so loud." Well, now is your brain going to have front of mind the idea that you have loud kids? Yes.
Yeah.
If you have loud kids and loud noises annoy you, are you more likely to hear this constant din all the time? Yeah, of course you are. Natural. But you're conditioning yourself without even realizing through the words that you say and the responses that you have.
Correct. Yeah.
So, when you say stuff like, it's really hard to, or I tried to, do you think that that has any real impact, or are they just words?
I think they're just words.
Okay. So, let me give you an example. Let's say, let's use the one from earlier, right? You said you were trying to reframe your emotions, but it's hard.
I was like, I'm trying to. Yeah. But in the context of the situation, I hadn't even opened my mouth. I just took a breath.
And then you did it, right?
Yeah, I just
you just did it.
Reframed it, yeah.
So you didn't need to try, you just did. All you did was breathe in first, right?
Yeah.
But you did it. It was all
Alex knew what frustrates me to do was coming. So I was like, reframe, I'm trying, do it.
Right. What I would challenge you to do is remove the word try from your vocabulary.
Okay.
Because I'm trying conditions your brain in those three ways that I mentioned. Effort alone is success is unlikely. And the thing is intrinsically hard. Because you don't try and brush your teeth in the morning, you just do it, right? Why? Because it's easy.
Yeah.
Right? You don't like have a shower every day. You don't say, I'm going to try and have a shower today. You just go and do it. Why? Because it's easy. You only say try for things that in your mind are hard, right? That's why you hear people saying, oh, I'm trying to get fit. I'm trying to lose weight. I'm trying to stop drinking. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do that. Don't try, just do it, right?
Yeah.
So try is a tough one. And so is the word hard and easy, right? And this is where a lot of people get really knocked off with the work that I do. What's the problem with describing things as hard?
What's the problem?
Yeah, what's the problem with it? Why can't you just do that? You be me for a second.
Well, so if you tell yourself it's hard, it's going to be hard.
Got it, Mom. That's the exact reason.
So if it's easy, it's going to be easy.
Right. If you tell yourself before you do anything, oh, it's going to be so hard to do this.
It's not going to do it then. It's going to be hard.
So, for example, why don't people imagine the classic, stereotype image of like an American, like the big, like huge, fat Americans, not, like kind of fat, like enormous.
Yeah.
Okay. If you had to explain to someone the most simple, basic understanding of how to lose weight, what would it be?
Basic understanding how to lose weight.
Yeah.
Look at your diet. Right. Look at your diet and go to the gym.
Okay, eat less, move more. Super simple. So why don't people do it?
Because it's told the brain that it's too hard.
I've got an even better explanation.
They just can't be bothered. It's not a priority.
Yeah, also potentially true. It's way easier not to do.
It's what they're used to.
It's just easier not to, right? Yeah,
so why change?
It's easy to go for a walk every morning and not shove your face with 4 burgers a day. But it's way easier not to. So then you apply that same easier not to logic to like everything in your life that you think is hard. And it's like, well, actually, hang on, you fair point, right? So for example, when the kids are being loud, is it easy to stop what you're doing, figure out why they're being loud and potentially obnoxious,
Mm-hmm.
through, emotional stability and like kind of get them to the point where they're not being loud and annoying? Is it intrinsically difficult? Is it intrinsically hard?
Well, it's funny you should say that, because since we last spoken and they've been obviously noisy, they actually haven't been that noisy.
Is that so?
Yeah. They actually haven't been noisy.
I reckon your kids have not changed a single bit, and I reckon
No, they probably haven't.
And I reckon
they haven't.
You've just coded it in your head differently. Because the big thing that we talked about last week is, do you want your kids to feel like they aren't happy?
Yeah. So that really stuck with me. So I was just like, oh. I think Carson was just like, talks really loud sometimes in the house. My inside voice, remember? We don't talk like we're outside. And like she drops it down a peg or two, but that's it.
So your environment changed because you changed how you think.
Yeah.
That's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
But
no, I'm saying I literally haven't found myself once this past week being like, shut up.
Right.
Or like I haven't felt overstimulated. Yeah.
Yeah, it's perspective. Well, is it inherently difficult to coach them through when they're having these kind of big emotions? No, right? You're an adult, you know how
to
do it, right?
Yeah, and to be fair, like they don't really have tantrums, and if they do have one, it's just because we've flared it up for them. We put fuel to the fire. Like Alex will wind Mateus up, and then I'm like, oh, no, that's gonna get him screaming. Like, what's the point? He thinks it's funny, for example, and it's like, oh, come on, like, just give him the ice pop that he asked for, because he can have one, or whatever, and he's like winding him up. So yeah.
In those moments where you could do the more arduous task, right? You can do the thing that's going to take more time, it's going to require more patience, it's going to do da-da-da-da-da. You could do all those things. You are capable of doing all of those things. It is within your ability, both as a parent and as an adult, to do all of those things. So why do most people not? Not because it's hard, but because it's easier not to. But when we codify things as hard, it gives us an out, right? Well, of course, I'm not just going to do that because that's hard. At that point, you kind of absolve yourself in your brain of the required or necessary thinking about it, right? You don't try and solve the problem because you're like, well, that's hard. That's right.
Yeah.
So your words create your reality, because the moment that you describe things as something, they become something, right? It's another form of reality. So if you take this idea and then you say, okay, well, what else do I do this with? How often do you use the word more?
No.
More time, more money, more space, more...
Not much.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, not much.
Okay. Do you think that you have an abundance of time, or do you think that you're time pressured all the time?
Probably abundance of time.
Okay. That's objectively quite rare, so good for you. How come?
I don't need to rush anywhere any day, like every day. Like the kids, we don't ever, the kids, I can guarantee, like when the kids grow up, they'll never say, oh, mum and dad had to rush us to get to kindy because they go to work. Like, because we're both at home. There's never been, we don't rush around. We just take our time. If we're late for kindy, it doesn't really matter. Nursery for England people. Yes, just feel like I've got lots of time because I don't have to rush.
Okay. What about money?
Now, I don't have an abundance of money, but I still never say I want more because I'm like, how I see it is like, oh, well, we can pay for our rent, we can pay for all the things to keep us alive.
Yep.
Anything else that we do receive is just a bonus.
Okay.
So I just think, just try and like live like, just gratitude for what we have and then deal with what we can.
Okay. What about better?
The word better.
Those are the four most common ones that most people use really prolifically. So seemingly, if you don't, then that's probably a benefit to you.
No, don't really use better or more.
Okay. Interesting. And not comparative. Okay. In your mind, when you look at let's just use from like the beginning of this week, right? Don't try and cast your mind back till forever because it's just bloody impossible.
Yeah.
When you think about the stuff that goes on in your life, day to day, day in, day out.
Yeah.
I know that we talked about before, like you feeling like, the kids were loud and it was frustrating and whatever else, right?
Yeah.
Can you think of other instances in your life where that same sense of frustration or annoyance comes up?
No, I don't really tend to get stressed.
Okay. What about with Alex?
So we talked about the last week.
Yeah. Let's do last week and then we can extend it back, if not for nothing else.
Nothing really stands out. And I was frustrated by really.
Okay.
Yeah, not really. Unless I know you had a chat with him yesterday, but I don't know. I didn't. From prior to the conversation that you guys had yesterday, no, I didn't see any issues. So the answer would be no.
So then, what about the conversation that you had yesterday?
Yeah, it went fine.
Mm.
It was just more him just maybe like frustration, but I was kind of like, I just explained the silent yesterday. I was like, you give me the silent treatment all weekend, but that's just classic. That's what you always do if I go out or do anything. So I'm used to it. So I kind of shrugged it off. And then I told my friend that on the Sunday because I went and saw my friend with the kids, and I was like, obviously they got the silent treatment all weekend. And she just kind of was like, well, that's just not normal. I was like, but I'm used to it. And she was like, well, that's the thing. That's like, no, that's not okay.
And did you talk to Alex about that?
Yeah, told about it yesterday.
And?
He said, yeah, that isn't cool. That's normalised. And I was like, well, it's been like that forever. So what's the point in having a battle with you on Saturday and Sunday and try and ask you what the issue is? Because I don't really care.
Okay.
Because we do it all the time. Yeah, not that I didn't care, but I don't know if that's the right word to use. But it's just like, whatever,
But you do care.
Yeah, exactly. I do care, but it's just like at the point where you're just like, well, whatever. Like you like this every weekend, not every weekend, but you like this every time I go out. So I'm not even going to waste my breath.
Do you feel like it's a problem worth solving?
The silent treatment. Yeah. Because it does bug me. Huh? What did you say?
What did you just say?
Oh, because it does bug me, yeah.
Well, which one is it? Because 30 seconds ago you said, don't care, never going to change.
No, as I said, I don't think that's the correct context of the words I used. But like, I do care, but it's like that. Been here too many times around the same block, and nothing's changed. So it's just like, ugh.
Well, that begs the question: do you think anything ever will change?
Don't know.
Well, here's the tough part. If you don't think it will change, it probably won't. Because even the most minute changes that Alex does try and make, you won't see as change enough.
Yeah, I think this weekend was a poor example.
So here's a and I'm very conscious, especially within couples, of playing the middleman, because one, I don't want to do that, and two, I'm helpful either. The more amusing part of it is when kind of these situations come up where I'm kind of privy to both sides.
Yeah.
You have to realize that with all of the love and respect in the world, I don't give a shit about your relationship. Like, I have no job.
100%. Yeah.
I have no desire to be on your side or his side.
I know.
At all.
I know that. I know.
Yeah. Okay. So I want you to describe your experience of this weekend as you understand it, and then I'll help color inside the lines where you may have missed stuff. Because this is where I found it's quite helpful to have someone that is, one, outside it, and two, genuinely ambivalent, because they are going to color in the bits that you conveniently miss out based on your own perspective. So go.
Yeah. So obviously, I've got my tickets to go to this Magic Men event, which I honestly still from today just didn't see the issue with it, which is fine. So I was like, obviously, if I thought it was going to cause an issue, or it would upset him, I would never have booked my ticket, because I'm not malicious like that. So, but I honestly, completely platonic, thought it was totally cool for me to go to this night out. And that was that. And then I went, and then I just kind of knew that Alex doesn't really like me to go MIA when I go out with my friends. So I kind of made sure I was messaging him and just ticking all the boxes, should we say, to make him feel like he's still in the forefront of my mind, which he never not is when I go out with my friends. He's always in my mind. I'm just having time with friends, and I shouldn't really have to message you anyway. So I made a conscious effort of messaging him, and yeah, I thought it was funny just updating him of the men, because I just thought it was so platonic. I just didn't see anything an issue. So that was that, and then he asked me when I went out. It was oh, are you going out? Are you going out? Are you coming? Are you staying out? Are you coming home? And I messaged back, and I was like, of course I'm coming home. I've never once stayed out, unless I've stayed out in a different town. Obviously, I'm not going to come home in a different town, but I was like, of course I'm coming home. And then that was that, and I was like, oh, that's a bit weird. And then kind of a night, and that was kind of it. And I was like, I'll be home soon. And I got home about 1:30, 1:40. And then the next day, woke up, and then just didn't speak to me all day or Sunday. So it was fab. And then that was it.
So from your perspective, this is a very classic case of you've gone out, Alex didn't like it, and he's been a sourpuss about it.
Yeah, but I was on. Yeah, well, the thing that I was stuck on was that I was just when Saturday came around, I was just kind of what's the actual issue? What's the issue today? Can I not just wake up from night out and you just be like, had a good night? great. Keep the day going, because the atmosphere and like that negativity, I feel that is the atmosphere around the house just doesn't vibe. The kid doesn't vibe. Doesn't do anyone any favors.
Mm.
And then obviously then he got dressed and he went off to play golf.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't tell me he was going to golf, which is fine. He doesn't have to tell me, but like not even like communicated like, just let you know I'm going to golf. No, he just literally put his clothes on, fill up a water bottle, and then I just like caught him in the kitchen about to leave. And I was like, "You going to golf?" Obviously, I had his golf clothes on. And he was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Great." And I was like, in my mind, I was like, actually, like, I'm glad you're going out because I don't even want you in this house. Right. Like, the atmosphere is like so draining. So he left. Obviously, he went. I was like, in my mind, I was like, I don't want this negativity in the house. So I was like, "You go, because I can deal with the kids on my phone. I'm on my own. It's okay." And that was kind of that, really.
Okay. And then post the conversation that you had yesterday.
Yeah.
What's your perspective?
Post, that's after, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Perspective. Obviously, he explained like, how he felt and that like a married woman shouldn't be going. Like we never had the conversation about boundaries, which we actually haven't. And like the fact that he thought how did I think that was okay to go somewhere like that?
Mm.
But then in my mind, because he was like, "Oh, well, hopefully I wouldn't think that you'd be okay with me going somewhere like that."
Mm.
And I was just like, I actually wouldn't mind. Like, if you like, this wouldn't bother me. But then I also feel like I'm so secure in me. And I know like he would never do anything do anything behind my back. That I'm like, well, that's just fun. Like, let a girl dance all over you. I couldn't really give a shit. Like, couldn't care. Obviously, a strip club's different, right? Different story, but like an actual like an event like that I went to, just wouldn't bother me. Like hand on heart, like I'm not even chatting. It wouldn't.
So your friend that ended up on the stage.
Luckily, it was her, not me. Yeah, I was, yeah, because I wouldn't be alive today.
Hypothetically, it was
Okay.
It was you. Is that crossing a boundary?
No, I don't know. No, but I don't, maybe it must be because I'm saying to you, like, I'm glad it wasn't me. You know, so probably yes.
Okay. So what is the difference in the moment between being a spectator and being an active participant?
What's the difference?
Because there's a separation clearly in your mind, right? Where like the moment that you get up on stage and now there's like physical interaction, now it becomes like, whoa, okay, this is a lot. Versus watching from the back of the room, it's like, I mean, who cares? It's a bit of fun.
Correct.
Okay.
I think that's
so here's and this is where I said I would color in the lines a bit, right? So one thing that Alex and I had spoken about is him feeling obliged to almost police your behavior before you go.
Yeah. Right? He said that, yeah.
And one of the things that we actually wanted to work on was him not doing that. So in the lead up, there was nothing. And then he slipped and he banana skinned himself a bit and sent me off a text message, which we talked about was probably a stupid text message to send, right? Right. However, in his mind, he's made massive progress. In your mind, he's doing the same old shit.
Correct.
It's the exact same behavior. It's just a perspective change.
Because like that message was not necessary.
Agreed.
Like
100% agreed. It was poorly phrased, and the answer was obvious, right? You're not going to disappear off.
Correct.
What he meant by that message is something fundamentally different. What he actually meant was, what time are you coming home? And then phrased it like an idiot. Right? But again, same stimuli, two different meanings. Now, I would challenge you here, much like I challenged him, and you can ask him because I gave him the nth degree and all. Are you looking for reasons to be mad?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
Then what made that text not an innocuous message of, are you staying out, as in, will you be later? Or are you coming home? Versus what you, by the sounds of it, you took it like, which is, why are you expecting me to not come back to my own house?
No, I seen it as like, why would you ask me that question?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly, right? Because in your mind, it's illogical because you always go home.
Yeah, always. Like never once stayed out, never.
Agreed. Now, the question I'm asking you is, what made you read it like that instead of, are you staying out, meaning, are you going to be later?
Because that's not what you put.
Agreed. But that is literally an interpretation of words issue.
Yeah, but I can't read between lines.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but like that's the text that he sent.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not at 12:30 at night, drunk, trying to read through lines. No, send me an appropriate message.
Mm.
You're the one. You're the one at home,
Mm.
completely sober out your ass.
Mm.
Just send a normal message.
Okay. Can you see how that message was poorly phrased and probably not what he meant?
No, I didn't see that.
Okay.
I didn't see it as poorly phrased. Like he knew what he was saying.
Hmm. That's interesting.
So whether or not he says to you, it wasn't meant to come across like that, bullshit. He knows exactly. He knows the texts that he's sending. He's very clever.
So then,
Don't tell me you've had like 2 seconds of like don't know how to have a sentence.
so then this goes back to the question I asked. Are you looking to be annoyed at it?
No, because I'm not annoyed. I didn't even bring it up. I honestly didn't bring it up to him.
But I'm talking about within the context of this conversation.
Oh yeah.
Because you are
No, but it's just like it just boils. It's not, but like on the grand scale of things, like I'm not that annoyed. I'm not that annoyed.
But in the grand scheme of things, it's all of these tiny little small things that add up, right?
But it's just that one of them like we're here again.
You're right, but it's that sense of it being never ending. It never changes. It never gets better.
Yeah.
But that is a perspective thing. Because in the same way, you can take the view that you currently have, which is, he knew exactly what he was doing. He knows the text that he sends. He's smart. He's conniving, etc., etc., etc. You can also say, this is something that he is not good at, that he has absolutely no experience in, and he's going to make a shit ton of mistakes. That's a choice. You can choose either one of those interpretations.
No.
Agreed.
I'll choose the first one.
Right. And you can absolutely choose that. You have free will. However, if you choose that, you remove any possibility of you ever seeing him try to do something good or try to grow. And until he is inch perfect, you will always treat it as a failure. You have to give him the grace here to be like, yeah, he's a dumbass. He sent a stupid text. But do I think it was with malice? Probably not, because he loves me. And you can choose that. That is up to you. Tough.
No, it is because the reason why I'm saying is because obviously that message was sent on this weekend, and then 2 weekends ago was my birthday weekend, and what did he say to me face to face? Great turnout, shit night. Yeah. You know what you're saying. You know what's coming out your mouth. So he didn't. I know what you're saying. It's just.
It's frustrating, and I get that, and I'm not trying to minimize the fact that there is a sense of, every time he opens his mouth, something careless comes out. But in the same vein.
But what I don't understand is like, what is like. what is that like nasty shriek? Not nasty, but like what is that? Like what thinks in your brain that it's okay to be like that? Because those words would never come. Like not saying we're obviously all different humans, but like those words would never come out of my mouth.
So this is where you get into the minefield of like human behavior. Because yes, those words in those contexts may never come out of your mouth. However, in that moment,
Well, not to somebody who you're married to, no.
right, for sure. However, the way that you have to conceptualize this in your own brain is you are better at dealing with this element within your marriage, but that doesn't mean that you are faultless and blameless, because it's very easy to go from one to the other very quickly, right? And it turns into a slippery slope where you're like, well, I would never say that, and therefore he's a wanker, right? Whereas you have to kind of be able to separate, as silly as it sounds, like the sin from the sinner. Like, yes, those behaviors were objectively stupid. Should he have done those things? Absolutely not. That doesn't mean that he's the devil incarnate. It means that in this area of your marriage, he needs more support from you because he's really bad at it. And you're allowed to be bad at things in life. That's okay. That's human. So then it's about, you want to give him the grace so that he can improve, or do you want to be the person holding a gun to his head, waiting until he makes a mistake big enough so you can blow his head off?
No, I don't.
Fantastic. So then the easiest way of you, one, making yourself feel less, let's say, put out by situations like this is taking the approach of, my husband is not great at this skill, and that's okay. I love him despite that. I'm going to give him as much support as he needs so that he can improve, because if he does improve, my life gets better. And then it becomes, okay, cool, where can he pick up the slack and do that from the opposite side, so that in the areas that you are weaker at, you can get the support that you need, so that your marriage evolves and your relationship develops. But if you're constantly in conflict, where you feel like there's nothing that he can do to ever get better and you have to suffer through his misbehavior, all you will do is suffer. And you'll suffer in eternity. Because until you reach this fantastical, mythical, pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, where everything is candy floss and unicorns, you have no option but to be sad. Because it's not the relationship that you think you want or you deserve. But if you view it as a work in progress, where he's bad at this skill, but skills are something that can be developed, then it becomes very easy to sit in that. Much in the same way that when we talked about the kids being loud, what if that was because they were happy and they felt safe at home, and immediately they weren't loud anymore? What happens if it's your perspective on how he's developing, or that he's not developed enough, that is causing the frustration within your relationship? What if it was that easy? Because it can be hard, or it can be easy. And that's a choice.
Yeah.
The question that I would have for you is, if we work under the premise that there was no malice in there, and I genuinely don't think your husband is a malicious person. Is he a bit of a fucking idiot sometimes, like most men are? Yes, absolutely. But I don't think he's malicious. Not from the stuff that we've talked about, at least. You've known him for 10 years, I have not. So I'm not the arbiter of truth here, but I can only tell you from what I've seen. I don't think he's a bad guy. I think, like most men, he's never learned how to process emotions, and he's even worse at expressing them. That means that when those weaknesses come out, they're going to come out and be very visible, especially to someone like you, who is more in touch with their emotions. He does understand how to show up in that way. Yeah, they look like glaring massive issues. For someone else, he's going to look at the mistakes that he makes and goes, I don't even understand what the problem was. Right? So there has to be grace given on both sides. Much in the same way. You look at going to the event and you're like, I didn't do anything wrong. He looks at it like you've just murdered a kitten. Right? You're on opposite sides of the aisle. This is something that you fundamentally disagree about. But unless you want to come together and build a solution that works for your marriage, right? The boundary setting conversation, then you're going to stand on both sides of the aisle and everyone's just going to be shouting across it. And then nobody wins. Fundamentally, this is about, do you want your marriage to win? And if you do, which I think the answer is yes, then you have to be able to come to the middle and actually have a discussion about it. One of Alex's big weaknesses is his ability to process and then act and then talk about his emotions in a useful way, let's say.
Yeah.
Because you're the one suffering for it. But he doesn't know any different. He doesn't give a shit either way, right?
Mm.
Suffers for it. Well, you can either tell yourself that he doesn't know how to do it, or you can give him grace so that he will actually get there, right? From his perspective, you've done the unthinkable, which is basically go and watch live porn. Obviously, for him, that's the unthinkable. You're on opposite sides of the table, right? You look at how he processes emotions and all the rest of it, and you're like, why are you like this? How is this not obvious to you, right? Yes or no?
Mm-hmm.
Right. He's on with that issue. I agree. It should be obvious, but it isn't, right? So you end up with your expectations being violated. Same issue on the other side with you going to this event. He's looking at you like, why is this not obvious that this is unacceptable? And you're like, I don't see an issue with anything I'm doing. What are you talking about?
Mm.
And he looks at it like, how is this not the simplest thing in the world? And you're like, don't know, no issue on my end. You're doing the same things. You're doing the same things. But because neither of you are willing to give the other person grace, the only thing that happens is fights. Oh,
I did not say I was doing anything wrong.
right. But in the same way, look at his behavior from your perspective, and you're like, you couldn't be doing anything right now. You're screwing the pooch at every possible instance. But I mean, if you replace you with him in that issue, you get the same outcome. And until both of you are prepared to come to the table and say, okay, look, maybe my perspective on how I'm doing this is fucked up. Maybe I need to have a look and ask you and build this together. Because that's the only way that you're going to come to any kind of equitable solution, right? Otherwise, it's my opinion versus your opinion, who's got the bigger dick. And you're just going to disagree for disagreeing's sake because you both want to be right, because that's a very human requirement.
Well, I completely validated his feelings on yesterday, and just obviously said that I wouldn't be going to those things again.
Build it together, right? Because in his mind, if there is a rationalization or a reason that makes sense in yours, you may not agree with it, but if he can rationalize it to you and be like, hey, this is how I feel, this is how I understand this is where I'm at, and you go, you know what, I actually agree with that, and going to an event like this doesn't really, it's not the highlight of my social calendar, I don't really care either way, but I'm going to do this for you. Great. He gets exactly what he wants, he feels loved by you, win. In situations like this, right, where you feel like you're constantly being lambasted for going out, right? You're constantly under the microscope. When are you going to get home? When is this? Oh, why are you out? Blah, 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 blah. And that winds you up and that makes you feel like shit. Well, if you can go like, hey, look, like, I'm an adult. I love you. I need time away from the kids and you. I want to go and hang out with my friends, etc., etc., etc. And he goes, yeah, that's fair. I agree. I love you. Go and enjoy yourself. I'm not going to hassle you.
Mm-hmm.
What you want. You feel loved and trusted by him. Everyone wins, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. You have to build it together. You stand on opposite sides of the aisle and just shout about your preferences, nothing happens. You're upset, he's upset, you're frustrated, he's frustrated, nothing goes anywhere. But ultimately, both of these questions, very amusingly, from both sides, they both boil down to, do you respect your partner? That's it. Nothing more than that. You want him to respect your autonomy. And
yeah, but I didn't go there out of disrespect.
agree, you didn't go there intending to disrespect him. I completely agree.
Not at all. No.
And when he's blowing up your phone, being a pest when you're out enjoying time with the girls, he's not doing it because he doesn't respect you. But that's how it feels. It feels like he doesn't respect your autonomy and the fact that you're a 30-year-old woman who can take care of herself and wants to go out and enjoy your friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's a respect problem. Fundamentally, it's a respect problem. In that moment, he felt like you didn't respect him enough to not go to a place where there's a bunch of half-naked men and spend all night on them.
But I also, in like defense for myself, though, I actually didn't realize how escalated it would have been. To be honest, I honestly didn't. Honestly, in my defense, when they were taking the boxes off, I was at the edge of my seat, and I was just like, "Oh my god!" Even my other friend was just like, "Oh my god!" Honestly, no one knew the extent of that evening.
In that moment, he feels disrespected. When you're out with your friends and he's blowing up your phone, you feel disrespected. This is a respect problem. So the question that I would have for you is, how do you each, and this is a question that I'll message him separately about today. If you, knowing your husband, could do one thing every single day that would show him over and beyond that you love and respect him, what would it be?
Every day.
Every day.
Oh, it can be something like so silly, like making his lunch or getting him a Coke from the fridge.
Perfect.
Just little things like that.
Do that. I promise you, I'm not even joking. Now that like this has kind of all kind of bubbled out as it has,
But I do that naturally every day anyway. So that's not really a task for me because I do that anyway.
Fantastic. So then yours isn't act of service based. Because you do all that already.
Do it all day, yeah.
Okay, great. Which one of the love languages? Do you know your love languages? Physical touch.
I thought I was physical touch, but then I'm also like, I'm not too sure anymore. I don't know why I'm.
Also, get off me.
Yeah, like I don't know. What is the physical touch?
Physical
I
touch.
think it's time. I think it's spending time.
Okay, quality time.
Quality time then leads to physical touch, but I can't do physical touch without the quality time.
Yeah. Okay. So words of affirmation, quality time, physical touch, acts of service, gift giving.
No, not gift giving. No, probably just more quality time and physical touch. Yeah.
Right. So if he was able to give you more quality time, one-on-one time, intentional mommy daddy time, do you feel more loved?
Yeah.
Like substantially or just a little bit?
Oh yeah, a lot. Like I like spending time with him one-on-one, yeah.
Great. Perfect.
It might bother shit out of me, but it's okay. I'm joking.
Your words
I'm joking.
That is exactly what I mean. You could not have summarized this session better than that comment. You know why?
Why?
Because you are unintentionally reinforcing neural pathways in your brain that say spending time with my husband is boring.
No, that was a joke, though. It was a joke because I actually like spending time.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. If you say to yourself, spending time with my husband's boring, he bores the shit out of me.
No, but I don't say that. I don't put that in my subconscious. So no, it's not. Yeah, but that was just a joke. It was just a joke.
No,
it was just a joke. Okay, so yes, spending time together, yeah.
Okay, fine. If he can give you that, you immediately now feel more loved and respected and trusted, right? If he can stop blowing up your phone when you go out with the girls, you immediately feel more loved and respected and trusted, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you
He
know?
doesn't blow my phone up when we're out. Oh, not really. Just like messages that he sends. That's all. I would rather not speak to him when I'm out. I'd rather not message. Because I never did message him.
Okay.
And no, it's not from a place of just with my friends. I don't really like getting my phone out. Just might take the odd picture, but I don't really. Other thing I probably say is like, I'm coming home soon. That's it.
Okay. And then from his perspective, from what you know about your husband, what are his love languages?
Acts of service. Physical touch. That's it. Not words off of it, no. Yeah, that's those two things.
Okay. So acts of service and physical touch.
Yeah, I would say so. Definitely acts of service for sure.
Okay. And in your mind, you already do that. Okay. So then the tough one with physical touch is, especially when they're like unequally balanced between partners. For example, yours is quality time leads to physical touch. His is act of service as number one, and then physical touch is number two. Well, you can't get to physical touch unless you get quality time. So it's kind of like you're trying to go straight through a dog leg. It doesn't really work, right?
Yeah.
The easiest or best way that I've found to navigate that is, if you already do acts of service, if you could turn the dial from 10, where it currently is, to 100, what does that look like?
Turn the dial on acts of service.
If you're already at 10, how would you break it and go all the way to 100?
Don't know.
That's your homework. Because I would hazard a guess that if you already think you are maxing it out, you have essentially figured out in your mind what is fair. You're like, this is a fair amount to give, considering what I get and all of the bullshit that I put up with on a day-to-day. You've created this idea of fairness in your head, and like, essentially, I'm not getting enough, so I won't give any more than this level.
Not really, because like I'll make sourdough, which he likes. No, I reckon I'm at max. Honestly, I don't know. I actually don't know what else I can do.
Okay.
I can try again, but I can get better or whatever words you use, but I don't know. I feel like I definitely do a lot, especially when like I'm also trying to work and I've got a kid here at home with me.
Yep. This is less about, do you have the capacity for it? I'm not trying to double or triple your workload. I can only imagine the stresses of 3 kids and trying to grow a business and trying to be your own person and still feel like a human being. I'm not saying you need to turn it up to 100 and stay there forever. I'm saying
I reckon he would say I was at my max as well.
Okay. So then the question becomes, how do you layer in other stuff?
How do I layer what?
Service based. Maybe it's not acts of service. Maybe it's something else.
Maybe though. So yeah, no, sorry. It's acts of service, quality time, physical touch.
Okay. So how do you give him quality time?
On an evening, or we just plan to go somewhere for dinner, or that's the other time we can do it. Or I don't know. Like even say we had beans on toast for lunch together. It's the little things, But that was 30 minutes ourselves before I got a text to say, "Can you pick up Mateus? He's sick."
Right. That's your 2 bits of homework. 1, voice note tomorrow morning. 2, I want you to think about it. Whether it's quality time, whether it's acts of service, whichever one it is, right? If you had to figure out how do I like double or triple down on what I'm currently doing, what does that look like? Because there has to be give and take, right? And if he can give you more, both in how he shows up when you go out and how he shows up on day to day, that is going to make you feel infinitely more loved, and your capacity for pouring out of your cup is also going to increase. So I would challenge you for that.
Okay.
And be mindful of your words.
Okay.
If nothing else, right? If nothing else, the jokes that you make about your partner at his expense, i.e., it might bore me to death.
Oh, you've not heard what he says about me yet.
Oh, don't worry.
He's obviously very tame on that on your phone calls.
He'll get it as well, right? Again, I'm not here to pick sides. I'm going to give it to you both equally.
Yeah.
And if that is part of like how you guys communicate about each other to each other, like you gotta kill that dead. You are literally wiring your brains to dislike each other. That is stupid. Don't do that. Why would you actively want that? Why would you want your natural association in your brain to be like, my partner sucks? Don't do that. Right? And it will have the exact same impact of like loud kids in the house in your head.
Yeah.
It will change your environment. Okay. You won't even realize it's happening. Right? Because I think for you, you're basically at wit's end. And I think that's a fair assessment given the conversations that we've had about it.
Yeah.
Well, why not give yourself the most amount of fucking length on the leash here? Why make your life hard? If it is as simple as, hey, I'm just going to not make those jokes, and that's going to give me more patience and more time and more grace towards my husband, who the relationship that I'm trying to build, I mean, entirely logical, no? But if you imagine every single one of those jokes or little quips that you make at each other shortens the leash by half an inch, well, how many jokes you got left in the tank before you snap?
Yeah.
Do the easy stuff. This is definitely one of the easy stuff. Homework. Mindful of your words. Send me a voice note. Figure out.
Let me write these down. Mindful of my words, because I'll forget. Mindful of words. What was the other one?
Mindful of your words. Send me a voice note tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Takeaways. And then the third one was see if you can come up with any new ideas on quality time or active steps.
Maximum post time. Okay.
Wonderful.